Now that Matt Murdock has seemingly abandoned his life as a holy man, what will this mean for the future of the man without fear, his friends, and his enemies? Well, let's hop to the pages of Daredevil issue number 14 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, you'll remember that Matt, at a moment of true crisis of faith, had actively decided to turn his back on the priesthood. In his internal monologue, Matt talks about how normally there's a whole process for this in the real world when a priest wants to, turn in their little white collar, but thankfully for him, he doesn't have to do all that much, as he was really only affiliated with the church thanks to Father Javi, and while he has hazy memories of seminary, you as the reader don't have to worry about any of the mechanics of this, because the story isn't going to worry about the mechanics of all of this. Normally there's not a ceremony involved in this sort of thing, but Matt certainly does love moping and seething on top of tall church buildings, which is exactly what he ends up doing. Matt does a little prayer wherein he asks God for forgiveness, saying that he has been much too sinful, falling prey to the likes of sloth, gluttony, lust, and all the rest. And oh hey, isn't that funny? Those are exactly the demons of sin that he had vanquished in previous issues after they had possessed his friends and enemies alike. More than anything though, Matt thinks that he is spitting in the face of God by trying to spin too many plates at once. And thus he has decided to devote himself fully to the superhero life once again, because if God cannot have a priest in him, then the least he can have is a devil. Still though, Matt is conflicted and he worries about all of those he left behind. It's because of that he swings by St. Nick's to use his super hearing to check in on Father Javi and the others. Father Matt left kind of quickly and they don't know where he went. They assume he might be dead or missing at the hands of that mysterious monster, who might also very well be connected to the missing Jason. Yeah, that's right, poor Matt Murdock never actually managed to get that kid back. And sadly, it's just another thing on an ever-growing list of things that are absolutely tearing the man without fear up from the inside out. Luckily though, this is Hell's Kitchen and Daredevil is never far from ne'er-do-wells he can use to help get out some of his aggression. It seems that even though Kingpin was defeated a couple issues back, it seems the Heat, that brand new criminal organization made up of ex and current cops, is still running roughshod over the city, and now that they don't have a leader, their power structure has completely disbanded into pure chaos. Daredevil beats down some of the grunts and stops them from robbing a pawn shop, but it's made abundantly clear that this is just the beginning of the Heat's fall from grace, and there's no telling what could happen next with them. Now, with Matt Murdock no longer Father Matt Murdock, he now needs to decide where exactly he's going to lay his head. Thankfully for him, he knows about probably Manhattan's last cash-only, no questions asked flophouse. The guy who runs the front desk actually still thinks that Matt is a priest, and even the usual suspects who call that place home wouldn't mess with a blind guy, because thankfully for our down and out superhero, they're scavengers, not predators. The worst thing though, Matt says about his new accommodations are the long nights and the loneliness. One of those is broken though by the arrival of Elektra. Daredevil tries to reach out to her in this needy state only to be rebuffed, and I mean, really, can you blame Elektra? She's been trying to get back together with Matt for a long time now, and she kept getting turned away. Now it seems like Matt on a dime completely changed his mind and turned his back on the priesthood. Who's to say his mind won't completely change again and he won't turn his back on Elektra, the woman who he had married in the last run, let us not forget. Matt's not even mad about getting rebuked by Elektra either. He basically goes, yeah, you know what, that's fair, I understand, I'd probably rebuke me too if I was you. But why is Elektra here right now? Well, apparently she has a lead on Jason. Well, she hired someone who might very well have a lead. A top dollar private investigator who still wears suits and hands out glossy laminated photos. The only problem is that after Elektra put this guy on the missing kid case, he too ended up going missing. And instead of hiring another PI to find the missing PI, Elektra decided to just tell Daredevil about what was going on so that he could investigate, though in her heart of hearts, Elektra still very much feels that this must be the work of Kingpin, and if anyone knows the secret of a terrifying monster skulking the streets at night, surely it must be Wilson Fisk. Of course, it's not like Daredevil can just look up Wilson and ask him for information, so instead it looks like Daredevil is going to have to once again go through the members of the Heat. Though how long they're going to stick around certainly seems to be up in the air, as right now they are actively being hunted by the Maggia, who are trying to gain back the territory they had lost to the Heat heat during that last big New York City gang war. Luckily, Daredevil is very fast on his feet and he's able to swoop on in and save a man-bun-wearing member of the Heat. It's via this guy we learn that apparently Fisk has been good to his word, that after his last run-in with Daredevil, he has turned over a new leaf, found God, found religion. As far as the mysterious monster of Hell's Kitchen, though, that's something very else, something very different, and something very dangerous, because as the comic comes to a close, we see Elektra's PI very much dead and very much torn to shreds, meaning that anyone who is looking into this Jason disappearance better damn keep their guard up. And so that was Daredevil issue number 14, everyone, and overall I thought this issue was fine. It's really more of a fallout piece to the previous issue than anything else. Thankfully, though, the art is considerably better than in the last issue, and honestly, I gotta give it all the credit in the world for just that. I was actually able to look at this story and not feel a little bit ill. I gotta wonder how serious Solid in a Mid really is to this new status quo for Daredevil, if it even is a status quo at all. Has he truly turned his back on the priesthood, on faith, on the church? Or is this just another one of those instances where Matt has a momentary crisis of faith only to end up coming back and having the status quo that has always been returned to? Honestly, I think they could go either way about it. I certainly liked Father Javi and the kids at St. Nick's, and I would be sad to see them disappear from the story. But also, if Daredevil the priest was interesting, I think Matt Murdock the atheist might also be a storyline worth following and developing. Especially as it seems like Solid in a Mid is also promising Kingpin, Man of God, which also I hope we get to see more of in the coming issues. Ultimately, I thought this was an issue where a lot happened, but also not much seemed to happen at the very same time, which is why I can really only give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy it though, and I certainly will be coming back to see how the rest of this arc ends up shaking out. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.